It's great to be back, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a new year. It's 2021. And I'm super excited to be here. I'm Shelly Joe with Shelly Joe Hypnoaminos, and I'm here with my friend
Dr. Seth from Activate Brain Clinic and Chiropractic.
We are super excited to come and visit with you today. We got a new surprise. This will be really cool. You know, I don't know about you, Dr. Seth, but when 2020 ended, it was like, whoa, we survived, right?
We made it.
Yes. We survived. It was almost like every day, oh my gosh, we're getting closer, we're getting closer. We're getting closer to 2020 being over. And we woke up the next morning and I think we kind of thought it was going to be like, surprise,
Oh.
we've survived and everything is back to normal. It's perfect, right? Did that happen to you? Yeah, it didn't happen to me either. Did it happen to you guys? I don't think so, right? I mean, we had this anticipation that 2021 was going to start out just, I don't know, maybe like it was like magic, right? And here we are in 2021. Is it any different? Well, it could be, right?
We can make it.
We can make it different. And so it can look different than 2020 based on the decisions we make right now. Now, a lot of people call this New Year's resolutions. I'm sure a lot of people, we talk about that New Year's resolution and we go, you know, it gets so exciting because we get started, we get hyped up, we start this resolution, and then after not very long,
We kind of peter out.
yeah, we kind of peter out and it goes away, and then we end up kind of back in the same story, right? Dr. Seth, what do you think can make a difference? What would you say?
So when I look at it, we're talking brain. Again, that's all, not all I do, but that's most of what I do. We're looking at the brain. So we're looking really at just a couple different parts. We're looking at the frontal lobe, okay, which is again choices, decision making, understanding consequences, whether they be good or bad. Okay, we're also looking at kind of how that mesolimbic area is. Okay, the limbic system again being the emotional thing. So like you can smell cookies and you're like, oh, grandma's house, or you hear something screeching and you're like, oh, it's a car accident, and how that fires in through our autonomic nervous system, okay, down through those lower parts of the brainstem, okay, because that's again where the reactions are going to come from, the kind of like the cravings, but just are we getting enough dopamine to fire off the system to be able to be like, hey, that was worthwhile, I liked my exercise, I liked my new thing I'm doing, I liked my new this, it's rewarding, I'm going to continue. If we don't have it, then I'll just go back to kind of what I was doing before.
Right. That's pretty powerful. And Dr. Seth works with the brain, and I work with the brain a little bit differently. I work with those neurotransmitters, just like you said, the dopamine, the serotonin, the GABA, and endorphins, the happy, calm, feel-good chemicals, right? And it makes a difference when you're creating a goal or you're creating a new, what your life wants to look like. Getting those things fired and fed will make a big difference. So by feeding them with amino acids, the ones specific to those neurotransmitters, it can help you. It can help you with the cravings. It can help you with those negative thoughts, the worry, the depression. It can help you with energy. Just like you said, you've got to have some type of an energy, some type of drive if you want to get a goal to be sustainable. And by utilizing that and feeding those brain, it makes a big difference, right? And then I go into the nutrition. How do you feed your body so that connection between the brain and the body is so powerful? And what you eat really does matter. If you're eating lots of sugars or starches or skipping lots of meals, the front of your brain doesn't work very good, right?
Yep.
So do you want to go in that? Tell them about this right here.
So again, the frontal lobe is again this part in the front. We're looking at the decisions, we're looking at the choices, we're looking at the consequences, and it requires so much energy. Like if you think about all the decisions you make throughout the day, where you're going, where you're going to look, what you're going to do, what are you scrolling on Instagram at, your brain's making constant decisions. And if we're running low because one, we're not eating enough of the right stuff, or two, we're eating too much of the wrong stuff, our brain's going to just be puttering on E, and we're not going to have the energy. And then we start to make bad decisions. We become more reactionary and just, ooh, I want this now, so I'm just going to go for that, even though it's not what I really need or want. It's just what sounds good right now. And so again, when we lose that energy in that frontal lobe, we become very, very kind of low functioning in the sense of we're not going to make our right decisions. We're not going to follow through with our decisions. and we're just going to kind of go with whatever kind of passes in front of us. Like, ooh, I like that. I'll go do that right now.
Yeah.
Instead of like, oh no, that's not my goal. My goal's over here. I'm going to go at that one.
Absolutely, I agree. You know, it's kind of like that irritable. I call it that irrational and irritable feeling, right? That irritable feeling, like I'm going to eat whatever I can find. A lot of times it's sugar, right? Because sugar, our brain wants to go to what is fastest, will feed us the quickest, and that's sugar. I don't know if you've ever, well, you know, when I mean, I like sugar. And there has been times before in the past where I'd go in looking like, you know, in the pantry, and it's like, oh, a sugar cube, ah! So that's just extreme. But, you know, your brain's like, I gotta have something, I gotta have right this minute.
Yep.
And then you become, like you said, irritable and irrational. Hangry. That hangry feeling is a real feeling, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we can keep that blood sugar level and feed our brain what it really needs, then it makes it so this part doesn't shut down or starve, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants a starving brain.
No, of course not. I mean,
right?
Brain controls everything. Why would you want to starve?
I don't think most people think that they're
Don't realize that they're starving. Unfortunately.
I'm starving my brain, really? Oh my gosh, well. And so then the last part for me would be hypnotherapy.
Oh, yeah.
And that is, what are we creating? What are our beliefs? You know, our beliefs, they can be created when we were little, right? We have these beliefs, and the beliefs kind of create the thoughts, and the thoughts kind of create the emotions, and the emotions kind of create the response, what we do, right? And then our actions, and then our actions just solidify those beliefs.
Mm-hmm. Just a big old circle.
It's like a big circle, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that it makes it hard to make those changes that last because you're in the cycle, right?
Yeah.
So talk about that.
I have a lot of patience. And
patience is in real patience, or patience in like
patience
real people?
isn't real patience. But then also like patients that come into my office, and a lot of them tell me from the beginning they're not going to get better, they're not going to heal, they're never going to find the cure, they're never going to find this and that. I'm like, well, yeah, you're never going to be able to do that if you're already coming in thinking that. It's the same thing. Like, if I truly don't think I'm going to, most people pick this one, lose weight, and they're just like, well, I'm always just been big, I'm never going to lose weight. Well, you're just setting yourself up to fail. And like, that's where we can go in, well, not me, but you, goes in, and we can change how that subconscious brain's thinking.
Right.
And then that starts to manifest itself back out. Because if you always think you're just going to never lose weight, or always going to be whatever, you're never going to get past that. And so you get to that goal, and then you just fall off, and then you get back up, and then you fall off, and then it's just this ladder, and you just keep going up and down. Now, balancing out the brain with exercises, therapies, and things like that are a great way to get that brain to be nice and calm, so that when we do need to jump in and try to reprogram how things are firing, it's a lot easier. If our brain's constantly in this fight or flight, if we're always starving, looking for the quickest little bout of sugar or whatever, well, it's going to be a nightmare trying to figure that out. But balancing everything out through brain stuff, through adjustments, through massage, through whatever kind of therapies that you're looking at doing, and then also adding in the nutritional aspect with the amino acids or in the hypnotherapy, it's a match made in heaven.
It is a match made in heaven, man. And getting those, like you said, those chemicals. I mean, there are truly chemicals, right, Dr. Seth, that actually cause those firing great things. And when they don't,
the synapses. Yeah. When they're not there, there's no. Imagine like if you turn on the light switch, no light turned on. That's what you're missing if you don't have your dopamine, your serotonin, and all those things. You get those, you flip the switch, light turns on. It's what makes the connection.
Yeah. And then you feed your body the way you're supposed to, and you take control of those thoughts, and then you create optimal health. Would you say that? Yeah. Dr. Seth has this really cool thing on his board, and it talks about self-care. Tell me what it says. I love it.
So it says, here, well, I mean, let's bring it over.
Let's do it.
Because it's a picture of a battery. Okay? I'll try to get out of the way. But again, it's a battery on E, and it says, you wouldn't let this happen to your phone. Don't let it happen to you. Self-care is a priority, not a luxury. Okay?
Wow.
And again, it really hits home, because how many people would never let their phone be less than 50%? They're always like, oh, I got to plug in, I got to do this. But how many people walk through life on empty? How many people are just not feeding their brain, not giving their brain what it needs, and they're just walking around on E at 0%, and they have no way to plug it in?
Yeah. So that's what we want to stress is let's take this year, add some self-care, get a hold of Dr. Seth. He can work with your brain, your adjustments, massages, right? What?
Yep.
Tell him.
So we'd look at the brain. We'd work on some exercises and therapies like that. We do a lot of chiropractic as well because, again, what houses that nervous system is the spine. If that spine's a little bit out of place, we're not getting optimal nerve transmission from the brain down to the body and vice versa. And we'd want 100% power going to the heart, going to the lungs, going to everywhere. If we're a little subluxated, we're not getting 100%. So it's not possible. So that's why we got to get adjusted.
Yeah, and this guy's really good. I've had my neck. He's the only one that's been able to get my neck in alignment. It's like, yes. So he will do that. I will take and we'll figure out what does your brain need to be fed? Which of the amino acids do you need to balance an unbalanced brain, to feed it, to get it to be firing the way they're supposed to? Figure out what does your nutrition look like? What have you been eating? How can we tweak it just a little bit so that they're working well together? And then with the thoughts, changing those thoughts so that everything is in alignment, right? Mm-hmm. So if I can help you, guys, it's a great year. It's a new time. It's time to set those goals.
Yep, set those goals.
Make
and meet
those changes.
Yep.
So if you want to get a hold of me, I'm Shelly Jo at Shelly Jo Hypno Aminos. It's hypnoaminos.com. Or
I'm Dr. Seth from Activate Brain Clinic in Chiropractic or activatebrainclinic.com.
Great, guys. Make it a great year. Mwah. See you. Bye.